Welcome back, Jane.
Thank you.
We're back. This is episode 1 of season 5. This is the last season we're doing this Better series. And this one we're doing it a little bit differently. We are going through the most important skill. I mean, so far this entire series has been talking about things that people could do better. But what's more important than everything we talked about is virtue and character. This entire endeavor is for my son. And one of the most important things I want to impart to him is character. And so in this season, I kind of want to dedicate 5 episodes, each one with 3 character traits, virtues that is easily overlooked, easily misunderstood, and easily ignored. But from my life experience, I think it's so important. And so we'll talk about those, and then we'll throw in one for fun, right? And like what we always do. So let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
So the first character trait that I really want to talk about is how to not give up. Because if you give up easily, if you give up at all, you really can't achieve anything. But how do you build that grit? How do you build that character to not give up when push comes to shove, when things get really difficult, when it doesn't look promising? In your experience, right, you've pushed through so many crazy milestones. You've achieved so much. And you've witnessed a lot of people who've overcome very many tragedies and difficulties. The idea of not giving up, what do you think is something that you see through all of them?
I think it comes down to that core belief of like, I believe in myself. Like, I can do it. Even if you think you're a sucky person, you know, even if you're like, oh, well, I'm really bad at this and that. I think at the core, if you didn't believe in yourself, you wouldn't try. So in order to try, you have to believe in yourself.
Right.
What do you think?
One thing that I found that's related in a completely unexpected way is just how easily you are inspired. And you think, oh, this guy gets inspired very easily. That has nothing related to perseverance or you know, being able to push through difficult times. When things get very difficult, especially at night, sometimes I'm like, I give up, right? I give up. I can't do it anymore. And I go to bed. But the next day, I get inspired and I pick myself back up again. And so it's almost, in my opinion, inevitable that you will feel defeated and you would want to give up. And I feel like it's okay to like momentary rest, give up, as long as you're able to get back up, right? That's the most important thing. I find very, very few people who have that kind of willpower, and the people who have that, it's amazing. I find it much easier to just be inspired because there's inspiration all around us. And so if you're able to open your eyes and be easily inspired, then I think it's easy for you to pick yourself up because you let the world kind of help you up in that sense. I would encourage, right, anybody who's going through a tough time, it's okay to rest. Rest a little. The journey is still very far, but look within if you can find the strength, but definitely open your eyes and draw from the strength of the universe.
I feel like going along with that, like what you were saying about being easily inspired, is having that openness to like allow yourself to look outside of your own troubles. I think that will help a lot because getting stuck is often kind of fixating on one thing or, you know, a bad habit and then you just stay stuck in your little cave that you've created for yourself and you kind of get comfortable and then refuse to think that there's more outside of like this little safe. And so I think it takes that openness towards the world to be revived, inspired, because you're right, it's not always going to come from you.
Yeah. Inspiration is all around you, and if you feel like you're stuck and the world is just dark and there's no hope, you know, you're just not opening your eyes. Right? Call yourself not poet enough to see the glory around you. And if you're able to see it, there's so much resource. The second characteristic that really came to mind was curiosity. I feel like it's so connected to creativity, and it is gonna be the defining characteristic that's gonna shape the next decade, next millennium. Because with artificial intelligence, with globalization, combined with computers and robotics and machine learning, if you're able to cultivate that curiosity and that creativity, that is gonna carry them so far ahead, right? Whatever profession they choose to do. And I think everybody can do it, and I think it's great, it's fun. There's the obvious benefit of when you're curious, you find out things that you wouldn't have otherwise known, and then because you know it, nobody else know it, then it becomes a huge asset.
Yeah.
That has proven true time and time again in my life, right? Being able to find different ways to do the same thing, but how do you build that character in a child, in a person? Explore the world with your child and see how different people do things differently, right? In the US, we drive on this side, but over there we drive on that side, right? And some people eat noodles for breakfast, some people eat rice for breakfast, you know? It's like some people only eat cold sandwiches and other people only eat hot food, you know? It's really interesting to see how the whole world works.
Yeah.
In the animal kingdom and nature, and how different people have adapted to different things.
Yeah.
And people are excellent in different things, and so showing that knowledge is power, and showing that they can attain this knowledge in so many ways, piecing different things together. Let's talk about how to solve problems better.
Okay.
Right? Everybody solves problems, everybody faces problems.
Yeah.
And how can you solve problems better? How do people even solve problems to begin with? Right? I mean, there's so many problems that occur every week, every month.
Yeah, constantly.
Right? And big problems, small problems. So do you notice a trend, or you know, when there is a big problem and you're like, okay, I really need to be a big girl now and solve the problem. What do you do? And you know, that's better than what other people are doing. Can you?
Oh gosh.
Is there some sort of wisdom you can draw from that?
Most of the time I do ask a lot of questions, I do read, and also I don't act until I actually am confident that it is the right thing to do.
Being a little older than you, I've encountered a lot more problems.
Many more.
Many more problems. There are times when I encounter problems that are beyond an ordinary problem.
Yeah.
Like the particular instance I'm talking about is when I really, really wanted to buy a home, and I was going through the mortgage process. I was getting everything ready, and like 2 weeks into it, my mortgage got declined, right? And the escrow was only like 3 weeks, 4 weeks long. They're gonna, if it gets declined, the seller's gonna sell to somebody else.
Yeah.
Where you put down the deposit, we're gonna lose a whole bunch of money.
Yeah.
There was all sorts of problems.
Yeah.
And I just was like, just looking at this problem, like, what do I do?
Yeah.
Do I just pull out, start shopping again, and find another mortgage broker, right? Learn from my mistake. Like, what do I do? And I remember very clearly, I was like, I'm going to attack this problem like it's a case at the firm. So I went to my office and I just did everything I normally do when it's a normal case. Within like a week and a half, I found a new mortgage broker that was able to underwrite, and I was able to still secure the home, and escrow was able to close, and I was able to buy my dream home, right? I was really, really happy. The things that like school teaches you, the research, the ability to put something together, a timeline, and be organized and do paperwork and write clearly and know how to navigate, know how to talk to different people, all the different experiences that brought you to this point. If you're able to tap into that and work on it, it will help you solve most of your problems, even if it's really, really big. Knowing your philosophy, knowing your worldview, knowing how you will grade different sins and virtues, and how you value and how you validate, justify, protect, test your principles. That is what's important.
Yeah.
And if you don't teach that to your child, your child doesn't know your own value system, then they are going to grow up kind of without a compass.
Yeah.
And if you grow up without a compass, then you will just inherit whatever you see in the world, and that could be very dangerous because you will then be easily manipulated. You will become just purely pragmatic. You just do whatever is easy and convenient. And we know in this life, it is too easy to do the convenient thing, but what makes a leader is to do the right thing as opposed to the easy thing, right? And that's the value of philosophy. Thinking through these circumstances and arguing what is right, what is wrong, how would you grade it, and what fact pattern will you throw in to change it, right? and going through that exercise. And once you have that worldview down, you know what's right for you. And the world might disagree with you, but you're gonna stand your ground and you're gonna continue to live. And maybe one day you'll realize your black and your white is too black and too white. You need certain grays, but you need to learn that yourself. But you wouldn't know that fine line of black and white if you don't have those principles. Then the whole world is just gray, right? So many people think like, oh, there is no right, there is no wrong. Everything is pragmatic. Everything is just relative. Everybody's just your perspective and interest, and everything else is just a lie just to deceive you. And that in itself is clearly not true. But if you don't have principles, then it becomes this gray matter. And you go through life and you're gonna be manipulated, and it's just not gonna be good. That is the value of philosophy. And that's it for episode 1 for season 5. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yes.
This was really fun.
It was.
Yeah,
yes.
it's so good talking about these things because they're so important and so true and so raw, and it's things that we truly believe in. So, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to reach out to us.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye.